Do you sometimes ask yourself why there are so many elderly people in society? It is not because of a sudden heart attack, a horrible traffic accident, or an unexplained cancer. In fact, it is the most silent and incredibly neglected thing compared to other options. Today, I will share with you the knowledge of my very valuable own doctor, men's health specialist, Dr. Mehmet, who has been in the field for more than 35 years. Mehmet's experience in the field for more than 35 years, as well as the knowledge gained in the light of scientific studies. I will start with Dr. Mehmet's own words. I have made it my mission to move forward with the knowledge I have gained over the years, and my life mission, which is not only prolong people's lives, but also add life to their lives. In the light of my years of clinical trials, the bonds I have established with countless patients and thousands of studies, I began to notice certain patterns that most experts and scientists miss. Now, if I share with you the fact that one of the most prominent features of the secret of living for many years after the age of 65 is not in your blood pressure measurements, cholesterol measurements, or your physical condition, but in the fact that it is something that many elderly people do not want to talk about, are afraid to talk about, and sometimes are afraid to talk about, or even completely give up due to misunderstandings. How would you feel in this situation? I'm going to share with you the big secret of your old age. I'm going to share with you the key to living your 80s, 90s, and beyond with peace of mind, freedom, and even incredible vitality. And do you know what will amaze you the most? You don't even need to buy pharmacies full of pills. You don't even need to sweat blood and work out until you ache all over. This secret that will heal you for years is inside you, waiting to be discovered only by you. The information I am going to share with you now will be simple but revolutionary information that will be perfectly useful for you to regain this vitality and that you will have no problem applying instantly. I also promise you that I will not let your trust in me go to waste and that I will completely change your perspective on aging when I get to the final stage. To keep my promise, before I start, I recommend that you subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell if you have not already done so. This way, you will never miss out on very important health advice that will help you stay fit, strong, and independent. If the information I'm going to share is useful and meaningful to you, leave a 1 in the comments. However, if you think there are different topics that you want us to improve, leave a 2 in the comments. We would like to thank you in advance for the feedback you provide us, and we would like to state that this feedback is very useful in terms of supporting you. I'm going to share with you the big secret of your old age. I'm going to share with you the key to living your 80s, 90s, and beyond with peace of mind, freedom, and even incredible vitality. And do you know what will amaze you the most? You don't even need to buy pharmacies full of pills. You don't even need to sweat blood and work out until you ache all over. This secret that will heal you for years is inside you, waiting to be discovered only by you. The information I am going to share with you now will be simple but revolutionary information that will be perfectly useful for you to regain this vitality and that you will have no problem applying instantly. I also promise you that I will not let your trust in me go to waste and that I will completely change your perspective on aging when I get to the final stage. To keep my promise, before I start, I recommend that you subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell if you have not already done so. This way, you will never miss out on very important health advice that will help you stay fit, strong, and independent. If the information I'm going to share is useful and meaningful to you, leave a 1 in the comments. However, if you think there are different topics that you want us to improve, leave a 2 in the comments. We would like to thank you in advance for the feedback you provide us, and we would like to state that this feedback is very useful in terms of supporting you. You may have noticed that there is a lie that society in general tells us all, consciously or unconsciously. Intimacy, small touches, and all forms of sexual expression are things that young people would do. Although we may not realize it when we reach a certain age, we have accepted that we have to give it up by silently saying goodbye to this completely human side of ourselves after passing this age. Many older people believe that physiological pleasures and desires are something that they are no longer fit to experience, that they should be ashamed of, and that it is not even possible to experience them. However, some older people withdraw because of physiological changes, some because of emotional damage, and some because they don't know that it is possible. But it is not only possible, it is essential essential for lifelong health. Although many people don't realize it, this departure is the beginning of a silent and insidious end. Without regular arousal, the blood flow rate to vital organs decreases. The parts of the nervous system involved in pleasure begin to atrophy, and the hormone balance in the body is completely disrupted. Over time, the body becomes unable to maintain its indestructible state mentally, emotionally, and physically beyond sexuality. Over time, even the immune system loses its former strength, and cardiovascular diseases, forgetfulness, depression, and the risks of complicated diseases such as depression begin to increase insidiously. I have encountered this situation countless times with my experiences over the years. Men and women who were full of life energy in their own time gradually lose that light, not because of illness or accidents, but because they neglect the pleasures and pleasures that keep them alive. You may think that I am exaggerating this situation, but it is not so. Physical pleasures and pleasures are the foundation of one's life energy, whether you experience them on your own or with a partner. When one weakens one's connection to this aspect, whether it is out of shame, fear, or lack of knowledge, whatever the reason, this distancing robs not only your life energy, but also the years of your life. Remember that there is always hope. Reconnecting with your body and reviving sensations that have not been stimulated for a long time, contrary to what many people think, can initiate a great healing very quickly. Contrary to what you may think, it is not difficult or painful to start exploring what your body can give you, even after all these years. In fact, this beginning can be the key to greater health, physical strength, and emotional resilience. But why do you think physiological satisfaction and pleasures have such an incredible impact on protecting your brain, your heart, and your freedom in your later years? Let's take a look at it. Why is masturbation after 65 vital for longevity? I have witnessed small but powerful changes in my patients over the years as they have stayed in touch with their bodies. One thing is clear: physiological pleasure is not just a luxury, it is a fundamental building block of a long and healthy life. It can be just a sexual expression and urge. It can be embarrassing and uncomfortable for you if you come from a culture that has taught you to approach sexuality in this way. But the fact is that biology speaks louder than social norms and reflects a different story. After the age of 60, your body's blood circulation, hormone production, muscle tissue, and nervous system functioning are all visibly below normal performance. If older people engage in sexual stimulation, even without a partner, their bodies respond to this stimulation in an incredible way. For example, the blood flow to the brain, heart, and other parts of the body increases, which provides nutrients even to tissues that will lose their functionality over time. The natural painkillers secreted by the body, which we call endorphins, are mixed into the blood, which completely reduces the stress that tires the body and helps the body to fall asleep to relieve fatigue. By increasing the level of testosterone, which we call the male hormone, it supports the increase in muscle mass, bone density, and emotional integrity. Studies in the field of neuroscience have proven many times that when experiencing sexual pleasure, many centers in the brain are stimulated at the same time. This helps to keep the pathways of the nervous system that control the abilities necessary for memory, emotional integrity, and decision-making strong and alive. In simple terms, it keeps the brain young, flexible, and active. I have seen positive improvements in active thinking, an open mind, and a more positive attitude towards life in people who have made these exercises a continuum. I have witnessed serious negative improvements in life energy in people who have accepted and adopted this physiologically stagnant and even regressive picture. But there is also a situation that, beyond these situations, there are more meaningful situations beyond all the positive returns obtained from the process. Masturbation after the 60s is exactly the attitude of individuals towards their bodies. They are aware of their own value. They are in an attitude that considers themselves worthy of love and physical pleasure. It is the best answer to the lie that as the years go by and the person ages, he gradually collapses physically and spiritually spiritually over time. People should always remember that the life they live is more full, special, and meaningful. Over time, this emotional togetherness will bring about broader and more positive changes, such as a healthy diet, active participation in social activities, and an increased interest in movement and exercise. When my patients, with whom I have spent many years, ask me if these things are still feasible, I say without offense, but clearly, it is never too late. When it is your body, it needs more time, patience, and kindness, but it can still give you meaningful emotions that nourish the depths of your soul and preserve your health. You may be asking yourself right now, if there are so many elderly people with such positive feedback, why are so many of them still living with this challenge and not trying? Although I know it will leave a painful feeling in the heart, I have to say that this is hidden in a series of unexpressed misconceptions. Let's start with 3 common misconceptions that rob the elderly of their life energy. In my years of experience, I have witnessed countless times how people who are strong and full of life energy fall victim to such misconceptions. Many of them realize that their life energy is completely gone one morning when there is nothing left of it. It is an insidious force that seeks to disconnect older people from one of the greatest sources of health and happiness. One of the most heartbreaking misconceptions is that physiological pleasures no longer have any meaning for a person who has reached this age. I am sorry to tell you that you will not believe how many times I have heard this from an elderly person, but you cannot believe how many times I have heard many people say, "I'm too old for that." But the real truth to remember is that the years that have passed do not destroy your body's need for physiological pleasures and small touches, but only change the way you express this need. But the thing is that giving up this aspect of yourself by accepting that it is meaningless is like starting a car and not moving forward. You continue your life, but you miss the warmth, colors, and beauties of life. Another painful common belief is that it is shameful to enjoy physiological pleasures on your own. You know that you grew up in a period when it was considered shameful to enjoy physiological pleasures on your own. These unforgettable and unrepressible codes do not leave you even at a later age. But I must say, with all sincerity and honesty, that caring for your own body and responding to its needs is nothing to be ashamed of. It is the most natural way of expressing your respect for your life, your health, and your deep emotional being. And the other dangerous belief is that preserving your sexual strength means preserving your muscular strength. Regular sexual activities are body supportive, help to increase hormones, increase blood circulation, and help your skin to stay as healthy as it should be. This includes sexual activities that you do alone. If we go through a common misconception, muscles that are not used atrophy and lose their functionality. In the same way, not stimulating your sexual tastes regularly means that over time, these places atrophy and become ineffective or even completely unusable. You will not believe it, but one of the most heartbreaking myths is that sexual health is one thing and general body health is another. When you respond to the needs of one, you respond to the needs of the other. When you turn away from one, you turn away from the other. And when you think you are neglecting only one, it is actually the same for both. Understanding and accepting this is the easiest way to take the first step to unleash the life energy that is always ready within you. But being aware of these things is not enough on its own. Now that you are conscious of what you need to do, you can create a natural, spacious, and safe roadmap for taking action. Now we are coming exactly to that point. Revitalization method, what you need to do step by step to make your sexual life colorful again. When I was working with my elderly patients, I realized that what they need is not only the right encouragement, but also knowledge about the methods of how to do it. Not vague thoughts left to their own devices, not frivolous wishes, but real, easy to implement methods that they can do regularly with confidence. This is how the revitalization method can be applied correctly. It strengthens the weakened connections between the soul and the body, accepting and embracing the changes that have come over the years. First of all, The most important thing you need to do is to create a safe, comfortable, and sustainable space for yourself. You need to adjust the temperature balance well, not too hot, not too cold, a very comfortable bed or an armchair, and prepare the necessary lubricant. This seemingly insignificant preparation actually means a lot to your body. You are more valuable than you think, and your healthy body deserves this effort. After that, you can start to relax. You are not in competition with anyone, and it is not all a task. Take deep breaths, relax, and let your heart rate slow down as much as possible. You will notice that the feeling of being tense and tight is gradually diminishing. It is like water draining from between your hands. This is a simple but very effective way to open up parts of yourself that you thought had lost their function for a long time. Eventually, an awakening begins. You begin to explore certain parts of your body that you have lost interest in over the years. The inner thighs, the lower abdomen, the chest area. Start to make light touches on all the parts of your body that I have mentioned without feeling awkward and without judgment. You will notice your body's response to you. These responses will show that your body is still alive and vital. It will still respond to you and will help you get the pleasure you need by not wasting your efforts. Then the concentrated arousal will begin. Make contact slowly, without any indirection, without any expectations, without being completely pressured, and let the arousal increase naturally over time. Act more wisely and slowly instead of finishing the process quickly. The whole practice, which is often experienced in a hurry, kills the feelings and pleasure felt. It's not really about getting a result. It's about savoring the unique experiences your body can offer you. Finally, the integration step. This whole process will end with a deep breath and a wonderful thank you to yourself. Allow yourself to gather the life energy and live it. Whether the life energy gathered with this permission is dense or light, this silent and insidious healing that you notice is gradually deepening and deepening within your own self. It's not all about going after your past. It's about integrating yourself and your personality that you have built up over the years with the mightiest wisdom, power, and compassion. When you reconnect, even if it is just a small drop, you will have seen the full power of who you are. But even if you follow the right methods, sometimes the journey is not completely flawless. Problems can arise that can simply derail your progress, overcoming all the problems encountered. What should your expectations be, and how can you achieve them? Sometimes, when I introduce and guide my patients to the method of regaining life energy, they can be confused about how to proceed. It is natural to have doubts, to feel discouraged or disheartened. I have witnessed this countless times, not because people don't want to heal, but because they fall into traps that can prevent them from moving forward in a natural and comfortable way. In fact, knowing what your expectations should be and how to respond to those expectations means making a choice between giving up and living and regaining your life energy. In fact, almost all elderly people believe that if they do all the right things, they will return to their 20s in a very short time and feel that way. When this does not happen, they experience great disappointment. The reality is that your body and your spirit have changed. This is not a failure, but the natural flow of life. What you consider success is not about how quickly you achieve physiological pleasures, but about the intensity of the connection with feeling, relaxation, and realization. Even small improvements are the biggest indication that the healing within you has begun. Another problem, inconsistency. Just as it takes time to regain muscle strength or flexibility, it takes time to build emotional connections. Doing this only once a month is like watering a flower once a month when you notice it. For example, if you take the time to do this at least 2 or 3 times a week, it's a reflection of the value you place on yourself. Your body will embrace and respond to this value and surprise you in ways you didn't expect. Expecting more performance than you should is actually sabotage in a hidden way. Expecting a certain result without hesitation makes your muscles and body even harder, which you are trying to relax. Give up the idea that every attempt should be the result you want. The pleasures you get in the whole process, whether they are very big or small, should be accepted as success, and you should continue on your way. These achievements are nothing to compare with the memories of your youth. And then we we come to the final stage, shame, which can often be the thing in the background that can undo all your efforts. Most older people have feelings of self-blame when they think, this may not be appropriate, or do I really need this? As these thoughts arise, don't judge them, but listen to them and embrace them with compassion. Always remind yourself that wanting certain pleasures and striving for them is not selfish or ridiculous. It is the most respectful gesture you can make to the body you continue to have. It is not easy to overcome them, but you can always be sincerely sure that it is worth it. Every effort, every patient approach, and every gentle touch increases not only your sexual pleasure, but also the emotional state of your whole body and your endurance. As you gain this peace and relaxation within you, you will strive to give more and more to your body, and to your body that deserves more and more. When you regain your health and your life energy, this is exactly what your life has prepared for you. A system that is as simple as it is perfect. You better calm yourself down. What you are about to learn is perhaps one of the most powerful transformation tips you will ever hear in your lifetime. All these things I have told you are actually the best ways for you. That is, they are the things that will move you. In conclusion, do what you need to do to get your life energy back. As we come to the end of this journey with you, I will leave you with one truth. Your body, your health, and your desire for pleasure do not disappear with age. They undergo a transformation, but they do not disappear completely. To take care of this part of you is not to chase your youth, but to give credit to the life energy you still have. It's honoring the strong spirit that has carried you through the years and has not let you give up no matter what. I have witnessed over the years how men and women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s have been able to revitalize the ocean that they thought had dried up inside of them and have unbelievable storms, all while finding health, confidence, and joy again. Each and every one of you deserves this happiness. You need to believe that you still have the power to do it, that you still deserve this happiness, and that you still have this life energy. Start with small steps. Be patient. Love yourself. And remember that every time you want to give your body the happiness it deserves, you will not live more. You will live a happier and more meaningful life. You are still writing your story. It is up to you to write it with strength, dignity, and meaning.